I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. If you mix brilliance with bravery, that we can ignite something. Even this conversation alone can ignite the people.
The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Kelly, and we are back with another video. If you guys are new to the channel and you enjoy true crime stories, news, politics, and so much more, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, guys. I really would appreciate it. And if you are a returning listener, subscriber, well, thank you guys, as always, for being a friend. I really appreciate y'all, and please like the video if you like it. Give me a comment, whatever you can do. It really does help me out, and it's a free way to do so. And I thank everyone in advance for watching this video.
You know the thing.
So let's get right into it. All right, guys, so let's get into this story today. This is kind of piggybacking off of my last video that I did just the other day, which if you haven't seen, go check it out. But I wanted to kind of do a separate dedicated video to this just because I thought it was so interesting and so, you know, like I said, it was ironic because of what we just talked about in the last video and all of the tribalism that we're seeing from all different groups. But one group that, you know, was left out of that video that is arguably one of the most, if not the most tribalistic of all the groups, you know, is the one we're going to be talking about today. And something that happened with Dave Portnoy, which if you guys aren't familiar with him, and if you don't know what Barstool Sports is, you know, you're not alone. I'm not super familiar other than, you know, I know that they have a sports YouTube channel, and it's kind of devolved into this bigger thing where it's become like a big brand on its own, where they have all kinds of different businesses and other channels, and it's just become this massive like thing. So something happened at his bar the other day, and the reaction to this event that he had was insane. So let's get into it, y'all.
Okay, let's talk about this Dave Portnoy thing, because it's kind of interesting. He was just on the show on Thursday. So Dave Portnoy, in addition to owning and running Barstool Sports, which is a podcast network, and he's been betting. There was a betting company that they were in business with for a while there. In any event, he also owns sports bars. And at one of his sports bars, I guess if you win trivia night, something, you have to do something to win the right to put like your little slogan on one of these light up whiteboards in the bar. And these two guys who won decided to post F the Jews, and then posted the video on social media. This is from one of the Barstool bars in Philadelphia. So this got a lot of people upset, and Dave Portnoy saw it, and he's Jewish himself, but not that that's required to get upset over this kind of thing, but he didn't appreciate that much. And he decided to fire the employees who agreed to write that message that the patrons said they wanted. And then he offered to send the two patrons who wanted that message to Auschwitz on his dime to go learn a thing or two about that attitude and what it has led to.
Yeah, we're going to go teach you a thing or two about your attitude. And we're going to, first of all, the phrase send you to Auschwitz is sending me over the edge. Because what in the absolute world, like, the fact that people think that that's an acceptable form of education, re-education as I like to call it, is actually one of the most insane things that, you know, has come out in recent years. This is like a form of like the way that Jewish people like to re-educate people, okay? And it's insanity to think that like everyone in the world hasn't been fully propagandized on what happened or what they are, you know, have told us happened during World War II and in the concentration camps, and specifically Auschwitz. You know, I think we all know. You know, I think despite the fact that people are aware of Auschwitz and of World War II and, you know, whatever happened, you know, that's written in the history books, I think that there's still people who still are going to have feelings about, you know, negative feelings about Jews. And, you know, that is their right. just as it is anyone else's right to not like or even to hate other groups. We are in America. So Megyn Kelly is gonna, her language here is quite interesting to me, because she's what I think she's a Zionist, in my opinion, because she very much so, she'll give slight criticism, but she walks all the way up to the edge of being a Zionist and kind of lives there very comfortably. So I just wanted to stop it there, because the phrase "send someone to Auschwitz," we're going to send them to Auschwitz. And she's like talking about it like, oh, that's nice. That's a nice thing to, okay. But before we get more into this, I want to show you guys his reaction to the "Fuck the Jews" sign that was in his bar, because we can't really get further without seeing that first, because it was absolutely unhinged.
All right, emergency press conference time. So I'm getting ready to go to the Met Gala, and all of a sudden my phone, the last hour or two, my phone's fucking blowing up. Our bar in Philadelphia, Barstool Sampson Street, usually a great fucking bar. Bottle service, people buy drinks. You get a sign. There was a sign yesterday that said, "Fuck the Jews." I've been shaking. I've been so fucking mad for the last 2 hours. Like, I instantly got on. This is why the emergency press conference was late, because I was so over the top. It's like, I'm going to fucking make it my life fucking mission to ruin these people.
Whoa.
Like, I'm coming to your throat. I'm never ending. And I just sat, and for the last 2 hours, I have been on the trail. Trust me, I've been on the trail. You think I'm going to put up with this shit at my bar?
Whoa.
So I've been hunting down waitresses, the table who did it, and everything you can fucking name. Because I want fucking consequences for fucking actions.
Whoa.
So I'm not just sitting back like, oh, what are you going to know? Trust me. I have been on it.
Oh my God.
I believe the two waitresses responsible for the table already fired. I talked to one of them, one of the dumbest fucking humans I've ever talked to in my life. She's at a fucking dance recital. She's like, "Can I call you back in 20? No fucking honey, you fucking can't. This is your one chance to talk to me." Idiot. Total idiot, this girl.
Oh.
I've talked to the guy,
Nice.
Mike Wade, who's tagged. Guess what? He wasn't even fucking there. I had this kid basically in tears turning state witness to me,
Oh my God.
rolling on the people who were there.
Whoa.
I've talked to one of the two guys who fucking did it. He's like, "I'm not anti-Semitic." He's basically crying to me.
Crying?
And I'm just like, I don't fucking buy it for a second. Who the fuck would do that sign in my fucking bar? You think I'm just going to sit here?
Lots of people?
I'm going to make it my fucking mission to put you in the lights.
Oh my God.
My fucking mission. Kid's crying. I just hung up on his ass. I go, "I'm giving you 1 fucking hour."
Whoa.
1 fucking hour. Two kids go to
Ultimatums.
temple. Tell me, how do I make this fucking right before I go fucking ape shit? You want to take anti-Semitism classes?
Before you go apeshit? Is this you before you go apeshit? Or is this the after apeshit rant? Because I can't tell.
You want to do whatever? You make it feel right. I don't need your fucking
Make
tears.
it feel right?
The Mike Wade kid wasn't even fucking there. Wasn't in the bar. We got the footage. He's not even fucking bar. Trust me, they're pulling the footage. They're doing this. I'm 20 steps ahead.
Whoa.
I'm using everything. I'm like, I am going to come for your fucking
God.
throat unless you give me answers.
The IDF is on the
Two
job.
girls at the bar, idiots.
Oh.
This one girl, one of the waitresses, I just told her, like, "You're the dumbest motherfucker I've ever talked to. 25
nice.
years old, going on fucking 2, you fucking dumb fuck."
Oh my God.
What I'm saying is I'm getting the names. I'm trying to be a little responsible.
Are you?
I'm trying to keep it together.
Is this you keeping
But
it together?
I'm on it. I'm fucking on it.
Oh my God.
All right, real quick update on the "Fuck the Jews" sign that was at my bar in Philadelphia yesterday.
Yeah.
2 hours ago, he literally could have cooked an egg on my head.
Oh, we saw.
That's how much steam and heat I had come out of my ears.
And we saw.
And the more I thought about it, it's like, these are young fucking morons who did this. They're drunk. It's like, do you really want to ruin somebody's life? And let me
Taylor
be
Swift
honest.
shirt.
I don't know what's going on in the world. I do, the Middle East, obviously, but I've been doing Barstool for 20 years. I've had more hate, more anti-Semitism in the last year and a half than I've ever had doing it.
Oh my God.
And whether people, it's like Kanye, the UFC guy, it's like mainstream lunatics.
Oh my God.
And I'm not talking about politics or what's going on in the Middle East, just hating groups of people. You hate my parents, you hate my grandparents, shit like that. It's crazy. So, yeah, my initial reaction was like, I'm going to fucking burn these people to the ground, their families, everything.
Wow.
And it's like, you know what? Maybe that's not the best course of action. Maybe I can use this as a teaching moment.
Oh, you're gonna teach
and
them?
like
Wow.
before people just are like, fuck the Jews or any group and the hate. Let's try to like turn a hideous incident into maybe a learning experience, as cliche and very unlike me. But I talked to both the culprits who I know are super involved in it, talked to the families. I'm sending these kids to Auschwitz. They've agreed to go. That's, of course, the Holocaust concentration camps.
Oh my God.
Been in touch with the Crafts, who run the anti-hate group. We're going to send these kids to Auschwitz, and they're going to do a tour of the concentration camps in Germany, and hopefully learn something.
And then they're going to gas them. Then they're going to put them right in the gas chamber and lock the doors, okay?
And maybe, like, their lives aren't ruined, and
The
they think
gas
twice,
chambers.
and more importantly, other people,
unquote.
like, see, it's not just, like, words you're throwing around. So to
Yeah,
me,
go learn a
that's
thing or two.
That's a fair outcome
You go
of this
learn
event.
what I want
The two
you to
waitresses
know.
who worked at our place fired. One of them so dumb, Kelly, just the dumbest human I've
excuse
ever
me?
talked to.
Hello?
And I don't know if she thought she
Me?
was making a political statement,
Excuse me?
but it was basically her alone.
Are you
Didn't go to a
talking about me?
manager.
Did you just dox me?
Kind of forced another girl to do
the
it.
fuck?
She should have said no, but the other girl put up a fight.
Hello?
Those two girls are fired, but more importantly, the people
God.
who ordered these signs, they have
Not him calling me out my name. That was insane.
agreed. I'm going to pay for it. We're going to send them
Girl.
to Germany, to Auschwitz.
Can I go too?
And learn a little bit about history
I've
and
been already,
hopefully,
actually.
you know, get educated.
Yeah,
and
get educated.
Use this as a teaching
Re-educate
moment.
you.
Not just for them, but maybe for everybody. So that's where we're at. So for everyone, like, who wants these kids' lives to be ruined,
Just
I
you?
think you can lay off, and I think this is a
I
fair
think
fucking-
it's just you that actually called for that, sir. Not who's this everybody? Who is this everybody calling for people's lives to be ruined over speech? You know, besides you and Somalis in Minnesota who wanted Shiloh Hendrix's life to be ruined. I mean, it's basically the same thing. It would be like us, people who were against Shiloh Hendrix. Not us, not me, because I'm not involved in that, and I don't condemn her. But like, I'm just saying, like, it would be like people who hate, people for their speech, and people like Shiloh Hendrix, sending her to like a plantation and making her go pick cotton because she said the N-word. It's like, you sound fucking crazy, okay? You sound crazy, sir. And I think you are a little cray-cray. And it's not the first time, this has happened, where people like the ADL or other Jews specifically, this is like y'all's MO. Okay, and this is why y'all are becoming a real problem for people. And this is why people are really starting to get annoyed, okay? And really, you've seen an increase in anti-Semitism. I would not point the finger at anyone else other than yourself, sir. People like you who do things like this after being Mr. Anti-cancel culture, okay? This is something that Dave Portnoy was, like, known for, right? Back in, like, 2020 and shit, whenever, like, Barstool Sports and Dave Portnoy was the victim of, quote-unquote, cancel culture, and he said that it's coming for him and his site, and he's not having any of it. Not any of it, okay? Only when he chooses to do the canceling. That's the only time that he'll have it, okay? And not a minute sooner, okay? So, oh my God. And what was he exactly canceled for? Portnoy has been widely criticized online after footage of him using racial slurs and joking about blackface in Barstool bits resurfaced. Okay? That's weird. That's bizarre. That is bizarre. Oh my God. But you said, no, I'm not going to be canceled. I refuse it. Only when I choose to cancel others and send them to Auschwitz. That's it. That's the only cancel culture that I will allow. And let's see what he had to say back in 2020.
Okay, emergency press conference time. Well, it took them long enough. Cancel culture finally coming after Barstool.
Oh my God.
I mean, they come after what? Jimmy Kimmel, Joe Rogan, Bill Simmons. Now it's our turn. You knew it was going to happen. To be honest, they've been coming after me for 17 fucking years. People want to get rid of us.
Whoa.
And here's the thing. I've been doing this for 2 decades. I've made fun of every group of people, every race, every creed, every culture. You name it, we've made jokes about it.
Oh my God.
So if the No Fun Club, if the cancel
Oh my God,
culture
the No Fun
wants to
Club.
go back blog by blog, video by video, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, decade by decade, and comb through everything we've ever fucking said and done, yeah, you're going to find a few jokes that miss the mark. Things that are, if they were said today, you'd be like, how they fucking say this? What are they, idiots? But times change, sensitivities change, cultures change. When you've been doing it as long as we have, things fucking change. It's like going.
So it's weird that whenever it was you who was in the target of others, you know, you wanted sympathy. You wanted empathy from people. You wanted to act like people were out of line for coming for your inappropriate or problematic instances of being racially insensitive or quote unquote coming for other groups. But when someone makes a sign coming after a group that you feel like you're a part of, it's a problem, right? And they got to go to a concentration camp to get re-educated. He is a fucking hypocrite, okay? And I'm sorry to use that word, but he is, okay? Absolutely. The uncancelable Barstool's Dave Portnoy resists cancel culture, okay? Yeah, okay, he's resisting it until he's ready to send someone to a concentration camp, okay? And he used the N-word. Oh my God.
What you do, it's gonna be hit after hit. He'll just yell something in his EDP like twang, like fuck this nigga, like in the middle, and everyone's like, what?
Okay, I mean,
and then he'll just go quiet for like another 20 minutes, and then he'll say something like, Brady's a bitch ass nigga, fucking rape him, and everyone's like,
okay, he's not, I mean, listen, whatever, he's not hard R-ing it, he's saying it like in a context to me that's not, it's whatever, but it's still hypocritical for him to try to now cancel these people and call these people out by name, dox his employees, have them fired, and then these other two kids who were young in their early 20s, dox them. This one kid was suspended from his university, and you can agree or disagree with what they said on the sign. That is fine. But the thing that is so rich to me is the fact that, like, Dave Portnoy, knowing that he has all of this in his history, okay, he denies sexual misconduct allegations. It's guilty until proven innocent. He went full-on ape. He chimped the fuck out, okay, on that Instagram post that he did, and went completely insane, like straight jacket insane, okay? So it's just, that is what is so crazy, the fact that he had the audacity to then come out and act that way, knowing everything that he has in his background and everything that he's been accused of and tried to have been canceled over, crying on the internet over the fact that people were trying to come for him and cancel him. And he tries to liken himself to white people and say that, you know, people are coming after white men. Sir, you're Jewish, okay? Newsflash for anyone out there that didn't know this. Jewish people are not, they're not white. They don't claim to be white. They will use that, and I've seen this happen when it's convenient for them, you know, when they're trying to like blend in amongst white people and act like, you know, that they're just like, because a lot of them are white passing, but they're not. They're Middle Eastern Jewish people, okay? That's what it is. So it's really crazy to me. And, you know, this has nothing to do with being Jewish. But like I was saying before, this is something that they have been known to do. And the re-education aspect, like they tried to do this to Kyrie Irving after he retweeted that documentary. They wanted him to go through all of this different re-education in order to gain his place back into civil society. They are the first ones to cancel. And this is what Ye always talks about as well, you know? And it, you know, he's right on a lot of these points where they invented the cancel culture, and they are the first ones to try to, you know, make your life a living hell and erase you from polite society if they don't like what you have to say about their people. They take tribalistic to a whole nother level, and I think partly it's because they have so much power. You know, like black people are tribalistic, but they just don't have the power that Jews have. So the fact that like Jews have all this power, money, and influence and can kind of blend in, it makes them a dangerous group of people when they really want to ruin someone's life. And this was Ben Shapiro taking Elon Musk to Auschwitz and re-educating him after he did a retweet about something that Ben Shapiro didn't like. I mean, what is going on here? Why are we sending people? Look at this. Look at this. Hello? Girl, what? And then why do they make people wear the hat? The tiny hat. Girl, are you okay? What's happening here? Okay, so I think you get the point. Like I said, this is what they do, okay? They want to re-educate us all as if we haven't all been fully propagandized. And guys, I've been to Auschwitz, actually, because I was a propagandized person. I mean, they drill it into you in school. This is, like, basically one of the main and only things we learn about and are like, inundated with. I mean, is the Holocaust and World War II. So I was, like, very interested in the history of it whenever I was younger and growing up. I thought, like, I was real big into, like, all the movies. I never put it together about why this was something that was so prevalent in our society when there have been other horrible genocides. There have been other atrocities throughout all of history. There have been leaders of countries that have killed tens of millions of people, and Hitler is like, what, they say that he's responsible for the death of 6 million Jews, even though it's a lot more people than that died in World War II, and they weren't all Jewish. First of all, that number is debatable. And so, like, look at people like the Mao Zedongs of the world, Stalin, who were responsible for tens of millions of people's deaths. And we don't ever learn about that. We only learn about this one thing, and that's it. So it's kind of rich. It's kind of a bit bizarre when you really start to piece it all together.
And said that he was sending the two customers responsible for the sign, volunteering to send them to the Nazi concentration camp Auschwitz so they could learn a thing or two about the terrible consequences of anti-Jewish propaganda. Sounds like a positive outcome, right?
Oh, yeah.
Portnoy wasn't trying to, like, ruin their lives. I don't even think he was mentioning the one guy's name.
Yes, he fucking was, girl. Shut the hell up.
He just wanted, a good outcome, and he thought this would be a way to do it. And he was getting warned that there was no reforming somebody who would request that as their words on a sign. But he, took a chance. Well, one of the two customers, a man now identified as 21-year-old Temple University student, maybe Temple has suspended him, Mo Khan, Khan, says he was not responsible for the sign and merely videotaped the sign and then posted it to his own social media as a, quote, citizen journalist. He now has fought back with his own series of videos on social, claiming he is the victim here. Watch.
Dave Portnoy sensationalized it to his 9.2 million followers on Instagram and X, essentially turning it into a global news story. Although I had nothing to do with the sign coming out, nor do I know who did it, I know that the sign was provocative because it reminded people a lot of the unjust things that Israel is doing around the world, thus leading me to report on it. Dave Portnoy and his friends can choose to be triggered over the sentiments of that sign and even kick me out of the establishment forever. However, they have no right to destroy my life over free speech and ultimately something that was an edgy joke. Frankly, they're more worried about destroying and uprooting me than the thousands of people getting destroyed and uprooted in genocide. That sign had no effects in terms of killing any Jews. However, Israel kills thousands of people on a daily basis.
Oh my God.
Dave Portnoy and the greater Jewish community are acting as if they are the victims when this whole time I am the victim. Dave has built a reputation, a career, and a business solely focused on the anti-cancel culture.
Yep.
Here, he's hypocritically lynching me, absolutely canceling me in any way possible and ruining my life. Dave Portnoy owes me restitutions and an apology for everything that he has done and caused for me in these past few days. In an attempt to
honestly, like, if I'm being honest, I don't see how this person doesn't have a case for defamation, and like a really good one. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer or anything like that. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comments down below what you think. But to me, it's like a clear cut. I don't know. To me, it's kind of clear cut. Like he has a lawsuit on his hand against Dave Portnoy for being an absolute psychopath to his reaction to this whole thing, and he kind of did dox this person. He doxed like pretty much everyone that was involved, and so like how does, because it's like Dave Portnoy has such a huge following on social media and is so well known in comparison to this kid who this posts on his Instagram. And he's a private citizen, you know, he didn't ask to be posted by someone with 10 million followers and to have this reaction to his posting of this sign that Dave Portnoy didn't like and other people didn't like, whatever. You don't have to like it. You don't have to condemn or be pro the sign to understand that it's not okay for us to keep doing this to people and to try to out people in society as, you know, because you don't like what they have to say. People really need to get a grip on that and understand that that's not what we're here to do. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think he has a case? Because I do.
Exposed me. He exposed himself as almost a total fraud, going back on anything he stands for.
Okay, it's not cancel culture when he tries to do something nice for you.
Girl.
Like, what? How did Dave Portnoy cancel you, Mr. Khan? He said that was effed up. One, I will give you a free trip overseas so you can go to Auschwitz and learn a thing or two about the Holocaust.
Nice.
He's not your employer.
So nice.
You posted the video on your own, assuming the risk of blowback. He's not trying to cancel you. He was trying to help you.
Trying to re-educate
you. Canceled yourself by posting your sign, or at least your friend's sign, without letting you know this happened at this bar. You just posted it without comment on your reel. And your behavior in the aftermath has proven to us quite clearly that you believe the sentiment in that sign, in my opinion. Now this guy Khan's trying to get $25,000 donated to him on Give, Send, Go to help him defend himself against Portnoy's, quote, attacks.
I'm done with Give, Send,
He's up to $12,000 so far.
You hear me?
Give,
Send, Go and GoFundMe need to be like eradicated, okay, from the society, because I'm quite frankly sick of it. I'm sick of these people with their damn campaigns begging for freaking money. This is like the new panhandling, okay? I'm over it.
Portnoy responded by revoking the invitation for the free trip to Auschwitz and blasting Khan for trying to profit over the incident. Watch.
Temple fucking suspended his ass basically before I was even involved because, hey, asshole, you fucking uploaded it to your personal Instagram. What do you think was going to happen, you brain dead moron? Like, I'm going to try to make this teachable moment. This kid's crying. He's like, I'm not anti-Semitic, blah, 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 all this shit, even though there's past incidents that came to light. And then he does a 180, and he's like, oh, I was a citizen journalist. I don't know who did it. I have nothing to do with it. He's just a flat liar, coward with no responsibility. I should have seen this next move coming. He is now actually trying to profit from this, and he's playing the role of the victim. Zero accountability. Blaming it all on me. He's like, I've lost an internship that I work hard for, and I'm suspended from school. Buddy, you upload a fuck the Jews sign to your personal Instagram from my fucking bar. And you're blaming that now on me? But this was about being a Jew in America. Other Jews in the bar. I'm a Jew. My parents are a Jew. American Jews. Fuck the Jews. That's what you said. You fucking anti-Semitic piece of shit. And I tried to show grace. I tried to. You put your name out there. I tried to actually, now I feel dumb to make it right. And now he does this video blaming it on me. You have to, this has to disgust you. And this kid's face should be ingrained in you. Be like, this is what the face of hatred is. This is what the face of being a coward is. This is the face of zero accountability. Everything that's wrong with his generation. And this kid, now, officially, it should stick with him forever. And by the way, his parents, who I know are giving the advice, nice kid you raised.
Here's a little clip from Mo Khan on the Stu Peters show.
This guy is not a good guy. He just utterly destroyed my life.
No, he's not a good guy. He's a filthy Jew. It is really about just defending what's right. It is about like humanity. And yes, Americans, largely, they are a bunch of cucks. They're a bunch of simps. This has everything to do with good versus evil. This has everything to do with humanity against demons. That's what I see when I look at these fuck the Jews signs and I look at everybody putting their fists in the air and drinking to that shit saying, hell, fuck yeah, fuck the Jews. That's what I see. I see humanity coming together. I mean, let's be real.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
We need to start standing up as humanity against these Jews.
In a symbolic way, I liked how you used the term never put up the white flag, because essentially that's what I'm going to keep doing. They thought that initially off rip, they could have me put up the white flag, take your trip to Auschwitz. I'm not doing that.
So Mo Khan clearly not offended at all by any piece of that diatribe. Like, cool. He just responded like, we're just having ourselves a normal one here. And then Portnoy, before going to bed last night, also posted the following clip from the Stu Peters Mo Khan interview, where he points out it was going so well for Mo until Stu Peters listeners realized that Mo was a brown man who happens to be Muslim. Watch.
Stu, I hope you see this. I can't believe you're giving $100,000 to a brown Muslim. Shame on you. You could have given that to a white community in some way. Pathetic. All right. I mean, it's fair.
It's stupid. It's fair. It's a fair point. What am I doing? Why am I having? Okay, so that.
And so the last thing I want to show you guys is this clip from Dave Smith's show, who I feel like had one of the most reasonable takes, which I really like Dave Smith. He's actually Jewish himself, and he is a Jewish person that is constantly and has been consistently critical of the state of Israel and their, to say the least, questionable standards of operation for years, and he's been consistent with that. So he's somebody who is not a hypocrite in any way, in my opinion. At least I haven't seen any sort of hypocrisy from Dave Smith. I think that he's an honest broker, and that is clear whenever he speaks on this topic in specific. And a lot of people come for Dave Smith, but I liked what he said in regards to the situation. I think it makes sense.
I don't know. I think there's like an inability that some people have of how to grapple with like the Jew hating stuff that they don't like. And I understand why they don't like it. I don't like it either. But I think ironically, I suppose, that a lot of the people who really prioritize like shutting down the Jew hatred, like we gotta handle this problem that people are saying mean shit about Jews. They go about it all wrong, and ironically, they end up being the ones who are really feeding that fire. Like, if you think this is a problem, you're making the problem much worse. So I guess what happened was he had some event at like a bar that he owns, doing some sports thing there, and someone showed up with a "fuck the Jews" sign. That's the story. I figured out many, many years ago. Like, that is, if somebody is bullying you, the last thing in the world you would ever want to do is let them know that it's working. That's why they're doing it. Like, that's the fucking incentive for them doing it to begin with. And likewise, in this situation, it's just like, it's crazy to me to like, we're grown adults sitting here and you're like, oh, are you still? So I figured this out at 5. You haven't to sit here and go, I was literally shaking because I'm so angry about this and this is so wrong. It's like, dude, that's the point. What do you think someone went to a bar in a public event with a "fuck the Jews" sign for? To blend into the crowd? Or do you think maybe they were trying to trigger a reaction out of you? So how counterproductive is it to just give them this reaction. Like so now this has always been the dynamic, right? And it's like, it's so strange that it's so hard for people to figure this out, right? But since the rise of even like the alt-right and back in like 2016 or any of that shit, it's like, dude, this guy, I mean, I don't know anything about the guy who is holding the sign. I don't know if he's been revealed online or whatever, but this guy is presumably no one. But you're like, look, presumably whoever this person is, it's like they go there to trigger this reaction. And now look what you hand them. They get to have Dave Portnoy saying he's literally shaking. Like, do you not get the power play here? You know, like, this has always been the thing now that like some 15-year-old on the internet can get an editor at the New York Times or the owner of the Comedy Cellar or whoever to be like freaking out and go, it's like, yes, just recognize this. Take away, it was a couple. Okay. So, but if you recognize this, you can immediately take away the energy source and go like, okay, whatever. You're like, I don't know. What's the appropriate response to this, Rob? I would say if it's my bar and someone comes in and holds up a "fuck the Jews" sign, I'd probably have someone from the bar walk over to them and be like, guys, you got to leave if you have that sign here. You know, can't do that. You want to put the sign away or you want to head out somewhere else, guys? You know, this like could be handled like that.
Facts.
Like, that's it. And it's, and also like, we gotta stop. And this is, I mean, you can weigh in here, Rob, too. But as me and you have been saying for many years, we've got to stop being snowflakes here, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't like Jew hatred any more than anybody else does. You know, why would I? It's like against me and my group. It's against my friends and my family. And, you know, okay, I don't like that. But like, what are we? Are we fucking pink-haired 20-year-olds on a college campus somewhere? No, nothing has happened to anybody. No, like, it's like, okay, I just think it's such a bad idea to ever turn it to start catastrophizing like very non-big deals. Like, don't do that. It's like if we didn't learn anything from the rise and fall of wokeism, it's like, don't do that. You don't like, if you want people to actually be persuaded over to your side, if you want, like, if that's what you're attempting to do, then the last thing you want to do is be hysterical. And it just, I'm sorry, the reaction to this is hysterical. And this has been like one of my messages that I've really been trying to get out there for the people who are very concerned about the rise in Jew hatred, is that it's like, yeah, dude, like, maybe it is the case that this policy is going to come with this blowback.
Maybe I can use this as a teaching moment, and like, before people just are like, fuck the Jews or any group and the hate, let's try to like turn a hideous incident into maybe a learning experience, as cliche and very unlike me. But I talked to both the culprits who I know are super involved in it, talked to the families. I'm sending these kids to Auschwitz. They've agreed to go. That's, of course, the Holocaust concentration camp.
It's too much to bear, Rob. It's too much to bear. First off, can I just say, like,
funny. It started off like Sesame Street. I'm going to teach them a lesson. Then I got to get on a flight and go visit Auschwitz.
First of all, I will say, like, I understand.
That's so brutal.
Clearly, I just want to make it clear for any people out there that Dave Portnoy is talking about the museum that is currently at Auschwitz, but there is something about I'm going to send them to Auschwitz that still rings very Nazi-like to me, to be like, that's the appropriate punishment. I'm going to send them to Auschwitz. Dude, well, so here's the funny thing, right? You could end this video. We don't have to play any more of it. But so this is the funniest thing, too, is that, so I don't know where the saga's at now, but the next video after this, like his third emergency press conference, is that they've gone dark on him. Like they just stopped responding after he was like, you have to go to Auschwitz. So they're like, they're just like, go to fucking Auschwitz? What are you talking about, dude?
It's
but
such a funny thing of wealthy people doling out punishments where it's like your parents will give you a timeout, but a guy who can pay to send you on a ticket will mandate that you go take a tour of Auschwitz.
But listen, aside from just being hilarious, like, guys, this is all wrong. This is just not the way. First off, don't go into this woke bullshit about how this is a teachable moment and you've got to go, essentially you're saying you got to go take Jewish HR classes or some sensitivity training or something like that. This is not, how much do we need to run this experiment? This does not work. It's also just, it's
and
just
what if,
stupid.
And what if the kids go over there and they're such anti-Semites to realize, oh, there's actually an efficient system to get rid of them?
You go, my God, I thought the best we could do was hold up signs at bars. But no, we could set up a whole apparatus here.
So, what do you guys think about all of this? Is this crazy? Is this, justified? Is Dave Portnoy a complete and utter psychopath? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. I think he's a hypocritical piece of shit, who wants to re-educate people. It's giving Nazi, it's giving fascist, it's giving you're a loser, Dave Portnoy, and you need to get a grip, okay? Before you decide to become the world's biggest hypocrite in 2.5 seconds and completely and utterly crash out in front of everyone and their mom. But those are just my thoughts. But let me know what yours are, guys. And until next time, I will see y'all later. Bye.
I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies. If you mix brilliance with bravery, that we can ignite something. Even this conversation alone can ignite the people.
The time is now to express and for people to believe in themselves. The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.